Hi everyone. Today I wanted to make a video, kind of a language journal, uh, what I've what I'm been working on and what I need to improve on, my progress with various things. So this summer I have been continuing with Persian, with studying with my professor who's been very patient, and he's been helping me learn from this Ottoman manuscript that we've been reading. I don't have it on screen or on camera, but it's quite difficult, and it's got a lot of like layered kind of meaning, a lot of metaphor. So it's not the most beginner-friendly text. It's an Ottoman historical chronicle, but it is interesting, and sometimes I feel like with these kind of classical languages, even though Persian is still spoken today, it's just good to kind of dive in and work through it. This is my Persian notebook for this one text, and I write out everything by hand. I transliterate it, which may not be the most efficient, but I think it's important to write notes out with pen or pencil and paper so you retain it. I don't really think purely typing on a computer is really effective. Certainly you probably have to do that if you're going to do a publication or something, but as far as studying goes, I think physical notes are important. I don't do anything crazy with, kind of the highlighting or a ton of color coding, but, mostly I just write things out with some pen, and then I put in pencil stuff I know that I'll probably have to correct later on, or will get corrected during my lessons. And, with my professor, we just sit and for about an hour a week and read a text and read this text, and and we go through it. I prepare beforehand, which is pretty time consuming, especially because I don't know Persian that well, but it's yeah, it's just time consuming. I mean, I think with any language, you just have to log the hours, and also get correction from someone who can teach you, and of course I have my Steingass dictionary off to the side. I've been using also the electronic one that's on the U Chicago Digital Dictionaries of South Asia page, but to be honest, I don't always like using that, so but that's also helpful. I have been listening to some podcasts and shows to help, shows on YouTube to help with spoken Persian, because that has clarified a few kind of just basic points, and also the vocabulary is much simpler than the kind of literature here, and also reading the unoriginal source in Nastaliq. I'm still not really fully used to reading Nastaliq scripts, so that's also challenging. Yeah. من فارسی خواننده من بد است، اما تحصیل کردم و فارسی دوست دارم. I think that's right. So I like Persian. I want to trying to study. But my problem with Persian actually is because I've been so enmeshed in Turkic languages. The orthography and pronunciation is a little bit different, so I sometimes get kind of slip up with when I'm doing my Persian lessons, because I can think of the Ottoman or modern Turkish pronunciation, and it's really not quite the same. But it's so it's just a small thing. And then also I am always reading Ottoman Turkish. So I've got my Red House. Always carry one of these with me when I'm traveling, or keep it in my office and desk at home. And been working on the text that's part of my PhD dissertation, and I'm starting to work on from an earlier manuscript that I didn't have access to before. This is the Tari Pechevi, and I've been trying to read and translate, and this is some notes from a different copy of the same text, a different manuscript copy. So now I'm kind of using these to help me with the current copy I'm working from, and and also comparing, because there are differences in redactions from the manuscript I took these notes from and the one I'm presently working on. Also had the opportunity to return to Hungary, which is where I bought this, which I'll talk about in a second, but I did try to speak Hungarian when I was there. My Hungarian, admittedly, was quite rusty, but most people did not really want to speak Hungarian to me. I guess they thought it would be easier, so, which is understandable. And I did try to go online and just write things in Hungarian to try and practice, and I was told that my grammar was wrong, and I found there was some contradictions, in what kind of constructions people would recommend in Hungarian, which is a difficult language. I'm sure I am making mistakes, but it was kind of demoralizing, to be honest. So as much as I would like to know Hungarian and be able to read it, I don't know right now if I will continue consistently with it, but we'll see. But while I was there, I went to one of the bookstores that sells in Budapest, that sells the Hungarian Academy, Research Center for Humanities. It used to be in the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, and this is a critical edition of, as it says, the Persian Divan of Yavuz Sultan Selim. So this is the work of the Ottoman Sultan, Suleiman's father, if you don't know, and he wrote poetry in Persian, and this is by Benedict Perry, who's a very good Persianist, and he's also written, Benedict Perry has also written quite a lot about Chagatai, and Chagatai in the Mughal world in South Asia, so a lot of interesting publications from him. But this is a full critical edition, so it's got the Persian text typed in, obviously modern typeface, and there are there are explanatory notes and comparisons with other manuscripts. So this is what you do when you write, do a critical edition. You go through and try to look at as many copies as possible, so you can account for all the variations, kind of a basic feature of textual scholarship, especially Orientalist textual scholarship, since, basically the beginning of the discipline. And probably that comes from like classical, Greek Latin scholarship too. I don't know. And there's also a introduction to the book by Perry, and goes through some of the different manuscripts, different notes. So, and it's a pretty comprehensive introduction. I mean, it's like 62 pages, so it's very thorough, I would say, and Also, the book is just quite well made. I mean, it's, you know, it's nice hardcover. The cover is attractive, so I mean that's also nice too. A lot of academic presses kind of skimp on cover design these days, which is pretty disappointing for expensive books. Thankfully, this was not too expensive. Let me see if it's got the price. Yeah, it was 3,900 forints, which is not terribly much. Yeah, maybe I should practice Persian from this a little bit. I tend to not work from poetry just because I'm not confident, you know, translating it. It's pretty difficult, and you know, you have to have, I think, a eye and an ear for you know, the elements of poetry like rhythm and meter and rhyme, and I've just never really had that. But you know, I mean, probably to understand the, you know, Persian language, it might not be that useless for me to do. So yeah, so I guess that's my little language learning journal. Yeah, working on Persian. It's going slowly. I'm not, you know, hope I can improve. And Ottoman is going pretty well. I mean, I'm kind of confident in Ottoman, not fully an expert by any means, but I feel confident when I approach, you know, a text now that I can more or less understand what's happening, even if I, you know, still have to look up words and a lot, sometimes quite a few words, but you know, I think I'm at a upper beginner level, or maybe lower intermediate level with Ottoman. I've been reading it since 2020, yeah, since about 2020 I've been seriously reading Ottoman, so about 5 years. You know, and Hungarian, I don't know. You know, it's hard to kind of get good lessons for it, and there are private tutors out there. I just don't really have money for it at the moment. And I don't know what I will do with Hungarian. I may come back to it in the future, or just, you know, kind of use it to read just academic work, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening with my Hungarian, so okay. That's all. Maybe this was a interesting format for a video, and rather than just me speaking with you know, pictures in the background. So you can get a sense of how I study. Maybe this kind of note-taking is helpful for you. I don't really get super into note-taking methods, but you know, I just kind of do what works, and you know, how to make notes that I can refer back to, because definitely when the translations I've done from manuscripts or critical editions, I still go back to notes I did with my earlier graduate advisors. So you know, that's another bonus for paper notes and notebooks. If you hang on to them, you know, you can just keep coming back to them, and you don't have to worry about them getting, you know, lost as easily as computer files, or, you know, something happening to the computer, etc., because it's at least on a piece of paper. So all right, anyway, thanks for watching, you know, and talk to you all in the next video. Görüşürüz. İyi günler.